Sorry, my dog is doing something very strange. He's trying to get into an area, and I don't know why he's trying to get into it. You never take interest in this space.
Ghosts.
It's got to be ghosts.
It's definitely ghosts.
It's always ghosts.
I hope it's ghosts.
What's that spooky movie? Is it a hit? Don't ask Alenka, she'll say, I haven't seen it.
Welcome to the Haven't Halloween Seen It podcast, where the movies I haven't seen and the people that come on the show are drunk and they tell me about that movie, and it's great. I'm your host, Alenka Zach.
And I'm Will.
Be sure of yourself, Will. We talked about your confidence and we want it to be up there, so yeah, I want to hear a more confident.
All right, I am Will.
Thank
there
you.
Go.
Spooky Will.
That's right. If you guys didn't catch it, we're doing Halloween fucking movies this month, baby. We're talking pumpkins. We're talking bats. Big old bats. And probably a ghost or two.
Yeah. Or an alien.
Bitch, I don't know. You think?
Well, everyone on the show tonight, on this spooky
Eve.
September 29th night, is writer for iHorror magazine and many other magazines, movie reviewer, newly tech reviewer. She's recently told me we have the lovely Kelly McNeely on the show.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, this is your realm of existence right here.
This is what I live for.
Narrowing it down.
Yeah. There's stuff. There's stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a few moves I haven't seen, but that's cool. I think you picked a good one. I don't really know.
I'm very excited about the one I picked. I think it's the thing that I like about it. The thing that I like about it, if you see what I did there, is that it's got a prequel. It's a sequel technically. There's a novella. It's a whole bunch of fun stuff. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what is a novella?
A short novel.
Great.
It's like a short story, but extended, or like a novel, but shortened. Somewhere in between. It's not really sure what it is.
Spooky. Is it always spooky or no?
You know what? I would prefer if they were always spooky. I think there's sometimes just like normal stuff, but for the most part, they should be spooky because why would you be anything but?
It sounds like a vampire word, you know?
Right. Yeah. Novella does sound like a vampire word.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, you said it, but what is the movie we're talking about today, Alenka?
Go,
Alenka. Go.
It's Da Ting.
Da Ting.
Yes.
We're talking about Da Ting today. The Thing, you guys, obviously. Yerp.
Yeah.
Yep. The Thing. The Thingamajig. Yeah. The thingy.
And what made you choose this movie, Kelly? Other than the fact that it's got a lot of extra media associated with it.
Yeah. It's got a special place in my heart. I don't remember when I saw it. I know I was young. But Kurt Russell's great. John Carpenter's phenomenal. And this is a great combination of the two of those things. And also super creepy aliens, some amazing practical effects, a lot of flamethrowers. There's a lot to love about The Thing, I think.
This movie didn't scare you when you were little.
It probably did.
Okay.
It probably did. I don't have remembrances. I don't have memory of being petrified of The Thing, but I do remember watching it and going, oh, all right then. That was probably like one of my early introductions into horror. It was like that and Poltergeist.
Little baby Kelly's just like, oh, I like this.
Okay.
This is intriguing.
I like all this gore.
Yes.
Is it gory?
Very on board. Oh my God, it's so gory.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It is like the gory.
Yeah, this is more of a gore fest than a scare fest.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what Shauna and Robert quantified horror as. Did they say gore? Because I feel like the theme in our horror thing is a lot of gore.
lot of the movies we're covering, I think, are all around. There's some gory ones. There's some slashers. There's some creepy, scary ones with like no blood or gore.
There's like atmospheric horror.
Yeah. Gothic. Yeah.
Across the board.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nice thing about horror is it's a very diverse genre. There's a lot that falls under that umbrella. Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm.
See,
now, I believe Shauna and Rob from the RIP podcast defined horror as spiciness for the eyes.
Oh, yes. Burn your eyes. That's right. Yes. It's tantalizing and it's dangerous, but it's something you just don't stop doing.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely describes The Thing.
Good.
Because there's a whole lot of horrific shit in there that you really can't look away from. I'm going to swear a lot. I apologize in advance.
That's okay.
That's just going to be
this
a
is
thing.
fine.
I swear a lot. It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, there's some gruesome shit in The Thing. It's gnarly as fuck. It's a great one.
I didn't anticipate this. I'm not going to lie. I think I confused this maybe with a different movie, but I thought it'd be some big old boy in like a big fake ass costume. And he just like, I don't know, walks around and people are like,
I think you're thinking of The Thing, the Marvel,
the Fantastic
hero?
Four, The Thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's like the big rock guy that just like runs around and like bashes.
No,
shit.
I think I was thinking more of like a swamp monster.
Oh, okay.
Swamp Thing, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's probably what I was getting confused with.
Yeah, which I've talked about on Dr. DC. Actually, side plug.
You have,
Whoa.
yes.
Yeah. So The Thing, Swamp Thing sounds the same. So that's what I was thinking. That is what I was thinking. I was not thinking aliens. So.
Well,
that's exciting for me.
Yes. I've got a very excited dog right here. I'm trying to calm him down.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
He's good.
Well,
He's doing great.
This is one of my favorite parts of the episode is Alenka, what do you think this movie is about? Now that we've kind of talked about it a little bit.
And it's not Fantastic Four, now that we know that, or Swamp Thing.
Although a lot of people get stretched out.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
They do.
Gross. See, yeah, I guess I will make a big old guess here because I don't know a goddamn thing about this movie, obviously. Goddamn ting about this movie. Okay, now I know it's aliens, so here's what we're going to say, okay? Alien comes down. Maybe a couple aliens. Alien horde comes down. No, just one. It's just one thing. Alien horde guy comes down. And I just have this feeling that he like rips limbs off people. I'm going to say in one instance, somebody gets an arm ripped off. And he just terrorizes a small town in Minnesota. And everybody's upsetty spaghetti about it. And, they burn him.
Oh.
That one I know.
Yeah.
That I know. But
No,
I really
I'm real
only know
curious,
because
though.
of Will's drink.
Yes.
I'm really curious, though. Why did you say Minnesota?
It just
Not that
seems
it's fully related, but it almost like it's kind of like you're in a...
like it's a Midwestern state, and I feel like when aliens land, it's like a Midwestern state where they land.
Okay.
It's just like right in the middle of the map. They just plop right down.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
as aliens are wont to do.
Yeah.
He didn't say because of the snow or anything like that.
No, so I'm guessing now it's cold in the movie. I don't know. Great. Maybe the alien likes the cold. Why didn't he go to freaking Antarctica then? Stupid alien.
Funny,
no
you should
people
say
to
that.
kill there.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, really? I'm so smart. I can't wait to guess more of this movie as things unfold.
Well,
tell me more.
You did mention fire, and my drink tonight is called Kill It With Fire. So you want to get 3 glasses. You want to fill 2 up with vodka, soda water, green melon liqueur, vermouth, and maybe some lemon lime juice. Make a little sweet little drink. Shake that up with ice and pour that out in 2 glasses. And then in a third fairly similar glass. You're going to pour the green melon liqueur. You're going to pour the vermouth just to add that darkness to it. And then you're also going to pour quite a bit of overproof alcohol, whether that's rum, whatever you can get your hands on that's above 60%. Just going to pour that in.
Whatever's flammable.
Yeah. And then before you take your drink, you want to try to light it on fire and see which one catches flame, because the overproof rum sure as hell should catch a little bit of flame.
Did you catch a flame? Did you do it?
I have not tried yet. I haven't
Why
tried
not?
my drinks. I'm kind of scared, to be honest.
Can you do it, please? I want to see this.
All right.
This is going to be... And can you make it as audibly fantastic for the guests that are listening?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
I will... Holy fuck.
There's
This
a
is actually
barbecue
so...
lighter
His
involved.
beard is so close. Will, can you... okay, for those at home, he's lifted the drink and it's not catching a flame. That's so fucking disappointing.
This one's safe.
So
You're actually going to
safe.
drink it?
We should not kill that.
Or is it a Russian roulette sort of thing?
No, you drink this.
Yeah.
No,
This
I
is
know.
like the good drink with the lemon juice and the...
It's
The other
Yeah.
one is just the
You're
one
s-
that's going to kill you.
So you didn't light the other one on fire. I want to see you light that on fire.
I will light it later when I finish this drink.
You've got to go
Now.
through the rounds.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Why
That's
is
how
there
it
so
works.
many beverages? Okay, there's one baby alien, and then there's the mom alien, and there's a big ass boss alien at the end. And that one, well, obviously catches fire, actually.
Honestly, you're like not crazy off the mark.
Yeah, you're
Just
close.
your like concepts, your words for it are different, but like it's all that is there pretty much.
There's levels to these aliens. That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Well, I think it's time to figure out what those levels are, Lenka.
I'm getting pissed, so yeah. I hate
Shall we
when I
set
don't
the
know
scene?
what people are talking about.
Yes. Well, Kelly, please, how does this movie start?
All right. So we set the scene. Antarctica, winter, 1982.
Oh, good.
That's
You
where we're
got it.
beginning. We open on a field or something that is covered in snow. There's a helicopter flying over top, doing the thing that helicopters do, flying over top.
No, I don't want to
That's the
interrupt you,
noise.
but there actually is something that starts this off that's not that.
Is it other than the title card?
Well, the title card scene is actually a shot of Earth from space.
Yes.
And we see a spaceship that kind of looks like it's going to crash, fly kind of towards the Earth. And then we get the title, The Thing, opens
Yes.
it up.
Wait, when was this movie made?
1982.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Wow, and they said it's to the current day. That's scary.
Mhm.
They
So it really
knew.
ages it. Yeah.
So we open, that's a good point, with the alien ship sort of just careening a little bit toward Earth, and then Antarctica, winter, 1982. We've got a helicopter going through the sky. There is a husky Malamute wolf dog mix thing running
So
around.
pretty.
Looking
That
very
was the dog.
concerned. That was the dog. That is 3D sound effects for you. The dog looking very concerned up at the helicopter and going, you know what, fuck
Oh,
this,
yeah.
and then runs off.
Yeah.
The helicopter is chasing the dog. They're shooting at the dog. He's a
What?
very, very fast dog and a very
Mhm.
thorough dog. So he acknowledges that they're shooting at him. He takes the fuck off. So essentially this movie starts with a chase scene, which is kind of
Mhm.
cool
Of a
because it's a
dog.
chase scene of a dog in a helicopter.
Yeah.
You don't see that in Fast and the Furious.
Dogs are fucking
That's
sick.
true.
That type
But
of dog, too, would be like,
Yes.
like he'd be so fast.
And you root for that dog because obviously
And
you
he's
don't
smart
want
as fuck.
these guys to shoot a
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're cute as hell. So you're like, you know what? You fucking do this dog thing that I'm chasing, rooting, tooting, rooting for. So he's running off, and then we sort of smash cut over to the interior of this Antarctica base. We've got the cast that we're all sort of meeting. There's a bunch of fellows being super chill.
Mhm.
McCready, as played by Kurt Russell, is there playing chess on the computer, being chill as fuck with his bottle of J&B, which,
my
by the
God.
way, is like such a thing in giallo horror, which is an Italian horror subgenre, that like J&B, because they basically said, you know what, we want to advertise and get money and be promoted in movies. So every movie is J&B. There's like 300
that's
some odd movies that have
hilarious.
J&B in the
Oh.
movies.
Sick.
Smart.
I should have bought
So
J and
that's-
B.
You should have.
So that's a fun
Idiot.
fact for you today. So the computer tells him that he's got checkmate. He says, "You cheating bitch." And he tosses his drink into the computer in a dramatic fashion because he's a cool guy like that.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
care.
cool. He doesn't care.
He's like,
very
I
cool.
lost
He's
at
so
chess.
chill.
No one beats me. Yeah, he's
No
so
one.
chill. He threw his fucking drink at a computer. What a psychopath. Nobody gets that freaking angry about chess.
It's like the most high-tech chess game you've ever seen in 1982 as well. It's talking to him. It's clearly very advanced.
It's all just
This
green
game.
lines.
It's
on
all
the
just
screen.
green lines.
It's Matrix.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful chess game. So the dog's doing evasive maneuvers. We flash cut back to the dog. He's doing evasive maneuvers and
Mhm.
Chopper's circling and everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? So they all run out there to be like, what the fuck's going on? And this dog runs over to the group of them and someone leans out of the helicopter and starts shooting at the dog. And they're like, why would you do such a thing? He's such a gorgeous dog.
Yeah.
And someone gets shot in the leg.
Oh, what a.
Yeah.
Who's this
Just a nice little
helicopter?
graze.
This helicopter, let me tell you, it is not a great helicopter.
Who are they?
So they hop out and they've got a grenade and they go to throw the grenade at the dog and they drop the grenade because they're very coordinated. And
what the fuck?
one of the guys runs
very
away from the
comedic.
helicopter. It's very
It's
comedic.
literally
It's
just
like,
whoop, and then he looks back, and then it looks like not at the camera, but you
Yeah.
know, if this was a comedy movie, he'd look right at the camera.
and be like,
Oh my god!
what did I do? Yeah. So he runs off because he knows what he's done. Meanwhile, someone else is like, I got to dig through this and try and not blow up the helicopter. Guess what? He fails. The helicopter blows up.
He died
and
too.
that guy too.
He
Yeah,
blows up to Choppa. Yeah.
yeah.
So he shoots the guy in the leg because he's trying to shoot at this dog. And this dog's like, hey, please help me because I'm a cute little dog.
Right. As they
And as they do. And then the guy who's shooting gets shot by one of the guys in the little Antarctica
Yeah,
base.
right in
thing.
his eyeball.
Right in his eyeball. And it's just like, and it's great.
And I have to say, the guy who shoots him is his name's Gary,
Yes.
and he's like the leader of the camp, but he like smashes a window with his gun.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, maybe don't do that. You're in Antarctica. That's going to be very chilly.
Chilly.
It's going to be real cold later. You're going to regret doing that,
Yeah.
Gary.
I think.
So
he could've
wait, they just
opened the
killed this
window.
dude. They didn't want to ask him why the fuck he's shooting at this dog.
No, they just go straight for the eye and shoot
So do
him
we
'cause
know
they're
who
like-
they are?
We find out a little bit later.
Mm.
Be
But
patient,
basically,
Alenka.
they shoot him in the eye because they're like, how dare you shoot at such a gorgeous dog? We can't
Yeah.
abide by this. We must
Yeah.
kill you.
Yeah. we must. They're PETA.
Well, there is a big
They're-
dog lover on that base, and he.
Yes,
you know, I
Clark.
think he's very sad.
He's very bummed about it.
Mhm.
So this guy gets shot in the leg. They go and they rush to put out the burning wreckage because that's something that you should do. And we find out this is the first
Mhm,
goddamn week of winter. They say those words, goddamn week of winter, because it's the goddamn week of winter. So we're back inside the base. The dog is there with them. He's kind of acting shady, but who cares because he's gorgeous.
Mhm.
Super
They're talking to
gorgeous.
the comms guy. They haven't heard from anyone in 2 weeks. It's been a while. They're
Mhm.
kind of on their own here. They find out that the people in the helicopter were Norwegians because
Okay.
Norway.
Or as Kurt Russell likes to refer to them, Swedes.
Sure. What a fucking idiot.
Because he's super accurate.
Yeah.
Good.
The fun thing about the thing is that they all say each other's names a lot in the first few
Mhm.
scenes, which is important to do because there's a fuck ton of people in this movie. It's very confusing.
Yeah, there's like how
And-
many? Was it like eight guys?
Something like that. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of them. There's some that are just there to like, you know, that you don't care about them
Yeah.
until something happens to them later. And you're like,
They
oh,
die.
yeah, that guy. He was bald. That's my descriptor for him. That's all I know.
Mhm.
Lieutenant
So-
Balls.
Lieutenant Bald.
Did you say balls or bald?
Bald
Sound
balls.
like Lieutenant Balls. Lieutenant Balls.
Lieutenant
I
Bald
thought it
balls.
said balls. Yeah.
Bald
Or-
balls.
Yeah. Bald balls.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Bald Balls. Good.
Yes.
I'm just glad
So
we
he's-
cleared that up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they decide, you know what? This Norwegian helicopter, the fuck they doing shooting at this dog?
Yeah.
We should go figure out. There should be 10 of them. There were 2 here. What's going on? So they decide that they're going to go take a look after that. And McCready, as played by Kurt Russell, with his amazing beard and hair that he took a year to grow out.
Oh, yeah. I want them to remake the movie again. Or, well, they didn't really do a remake.
They did a prequel.
But I want them to remake the movie again with his son playing.
With Wyatt Russell?
Because he looks exactly like Kurt Russell.
Exactly. Have you seen Overlord?
No, actually, I haven't seen that one.
Okay, there's a scene in Overlord where like he turns to the camera and he's all bloodied and battered up and he looks exactly like his dad. And it's very, very distracting and also amazing, but very distracting.
I don't know what either of them look like.
Have you seen 22 Jump Street?
Yes.
I feel like it's a movie you've seen. Yeah. So he's like Channing Tatum's like best friend in that movie.
His
like
bro.
I don't remember, man.
The blonde guy.
All right.
I don't remember.
He's in that.
Good.
And other things, but he's great. But that's Kurt Russell's
He's in
son.
that and other things.
And other things. That's his IMDb credits right there. Just says that and other things.
I would love that.
That's actually the sequel, Other Things.
Other things.
Stop.
The sequel to the thing.
Oh, that'd be
Things.
great.
So they're sort of just puttering around their base and they're playing on the radio Superstition, which is so on the fucking nose, but also a great song.
Yeah.
It's so on the fucking nose. I just love it so much. It's just amazing. This dog's sort of wandering around the base. The finest canine acting you've ever seen. This dog is slaying it.
Oh, yeah.
If this was a wild dog, not fucking accurate.
If it was a wild dog.
So it's not. Great. Good. Continue.
It's a mystery dog.
Yeah.
Is it pure white?
No, it's got some
black
spots on it. Yeah. But also, fun fact, the dog that they use in the opening where the dog's like running towards them is a different dog. And they had to paint it to look like the dog that's in every other scene, who is part wolf, I think. Anyways,
the actual actor dog or the dog?
The actual dog actor. Yeah. Who is
part wolf.
Amazing and should have won an Oscar, in my opinion. Because
really well trained dog.
The finest canine acting before Air Bud was a thing. They're like, let's just get this dog, make him do some cool shit.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah.
I might watch it just for that.
We'll just watch those scenes.
Yeah.
Unless, the dog dies, doesn't he?
There's a website for that.
The dog dies, doesn't he?
Doesthedogdie.com. That's a shameless plug. So anyways, they take off to go look at the Norwegian camp. They're there. They're searching around. They're doing their thing.
And
McCready,
Russell Crowe's all like, "Yoo-hoo, Swedes." That's like he
Kurt Russell.
That's his thing.
Yeah. Russell. I keep saying Russell Crowe whenever I think Kurt Russell.
I know, and I keep thinking of Russell Crowe.
Right,
this would be a very different movie with Russell Crowe. I'm just going to put that out there.
What the fuck does Kurt Russell look like? I need to look up Kurt Russell. Fuck.
Do it. Look up his face.
Russell Crowe?
The wrong Russell.
Russell.
The most handsome Russell of the Russells.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
This guy.
I can think of Kurt Russell, Russell Crowe, and Russell Peters. That's all the Russells I know.
Kurt Russell is the most handsome of the Russells in that case, I think.
That's true.
Yeah. No contest. Sorry, Russell Crowe.
Yes, I am familiar with this face. Oh, he looks like Jesus in some movie.
In some movie.
Go on.
It might have been this movie, actually. So they go out to the Norwegian camp and they're like wandering around. They find this big ass hole in the wall, which is very concerning because all the cold is coming in and it's again winter in Antarctica in 1982. And that's a bad thing for cold to come in. So cold. They're wandering around. They find a hole in the back at sort of at head level. And they're like, what's happening? So they keep wandering around. They find a bloody axe. And again, they're going, what's happening? And they keep wandering through.
They're so light about it.
Spooky.
What the heck is happening?
What's going on? So McCready, aka Kurt Russell, is like, it's getting late. I'm going to check out these back few rooms because he's a badass and he can go off and do shit by himself.
Yeah.
He's a fucking badass. So he goes in the back and he finds this big block of ice, this big, square, ginormous block of ice that's caved in. So something was in this block of ice that is no longer in this block of ice.
Oh,
the plot
thickens.
Dog. So they go outside. They find this big mangled.
You're missing one specific moment.
Fill in, please.
Yes, they find the most creepiest part is they find a man frozen to his chair, and he slit his wrists, and his blood is literally like frozen in icicles. Like,
and it's really cool looking.
Wrist.
Yeah, he's got like this really cool crystallized blood coming down, and it's all frozen and pretty, but also scary.
Killed himself.
He's and he froze to death.
He
was
killed
dead
himself
before.
and he froze. Yeah.
Also, okay.
Yeah. He did a little bit of overkill, is what they would call it, because he's like, I gotta make sure I die.
I want to be positive that I'm not gonna survive.
Super, super certain about this.
That's good. He did his homework.
He did, he did the work. So they go outside and they find this big mangled flesh thing that's like a tangled, gross limbs, shit, and faces melded and bones. And
ew,
it's just basically a pile of flesh and bones. That's
exactly.
It's
very
the dog.
concerning.
It's the dog. This is at the Norwegian base, yes?
This is at the Norwegian base. They're still there, and they're still looking around.
Now at the American base.
Yes.
So
he's there hanging out, being a dog, and being gorgeous in the process.
Being an alien.
Perhaps. So all the effects, by the way, done by this guy named Rob Bottin, who was, I think, 22 when this movie came out. And this is like his big fucking movie that he got to do all the effects for. And he does an incredible job, by the way. Everything in this movie is disgusting as hell, and it's perfection.
Ew.
Super gory, super gooey.
Super
Ew.
gooey. Gooey is a good word for it.
I'm not watching that.
So they go back and they're like, ooh, we have this big pile of flesh. We should do an autopsy and figure out what it is, because fun. Let's do it.
What the fuck?
This flesh.
None of them are like
not burnt. This is not a burnt.
It's not burnt.
Okay.
It's just
flesh.
like weird, melted, mangled flesh.
Mm-hmm.
The best flesh.
Yeah. Like someone chewed up a bunch of gummy bears, spit them out, and painted them more pinkish.
I really enjoy Swedish berries, and I wish you guys weren't talking about it, because this is ruining Swedish berries for me.
No, it's actually Norwegian berries.
Sorry. Ew. On a side note, they should make that a Halloween candy. The movie should make Norwegian berries as a Halloween candy, and it is just mangled fucking
flesh.
Body parts.
It's just like a plastic bag of like mangled gummies. It's all one piece. There's no separating it. It's just a mangle of like gummy and deliciousness that's just in one square. That would be if I would buy that.
Yeah.
I would buy that and I would eat that.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people would buy that.
You're welcome, gummy companies. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So they bring back this tangled, disgusting pile of flesh, and they're like, let's do an autopsy to figure out what the fuck this is. So again, Rob Bottin flexing like no one's ever flexed before. They pull everything apart. It's got like normal organs, normal, like liver and heart, and all this stuff is completely humanoid and normal. And they're like, well, that ain't fucking right. Why is this looking this way? This is
Hold on. They cut this thing open, and it's got regular ass human organs for one person in there.
You betcha.
Yeah.
They're like,
okay,
what happened to this man?
Sure.
What happened?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it looks it looks like multiple people merged together.
It just looks like basically if you took a face and then pulled it apart like it was silly putty.
Mm-hmm. Or taffy.
Laffy Taffy, and just let it like drape itself and get all horrified and mangled about its existence. So there's like teeth, and there's eyes and agony, and there's limbs going like, and it's all kinds of disgusting.
Can you picture it, Lincoln? Can you picture it? You weren't feeling too well today, so I'm just hoping that you're going to be okay picturing this.
I feel great about everything that's being told to me.
It's going to get so much better.
I'm going to blow my nose later and going to be like, ugh, that's that Norwegian berry guy.
That's the thing, you shall say. Yeah. So this dog, meanwhile, while they're dissecting this humanoid person, gross, melded, silly putty thing, this finest canine acting you've ever seen. He's just wandering through the camp, just doing his thing, being a chill-ass dog. Yeah. Super chill. And they're like, you know what? We should put this dog into a pen with the other dogs because he's like wandering around. He's being a nuisance.
No.
So they put him into a pen with the other dogs.
No.
And this dog, they put him in the pen and like, again, about the acting, this dog is so hesitant and moves so slowly, but so like, I'm not a dog.
like where is his Oscar?
Yeah. The dog like sits down and all the other dogs are, you know, like laying about
lounged
like dogs
out.
do.
Sure.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
This dog just sits perfectly upright on its paws, kind of
very unnaturally.
Yeah. And just stares straight ahead.
Gross.
Yeah.
So
#dog Oscar.
They need,
dog
to
Oscar.
add that category. Animal
Oscars.
That's
It
fine.
would have been really big in the 90s with like the Homeward Bound and like the Air Bud.
The dogs would have
super
appreciated
popular.
it. The cats
MVP,
probably wouldn't
most
have
valuable
known.
primate. That's that's a favorite.
Yes.
So
a good one.
they put this this husky in the pen with all these other dogs, and then they kind of wander off as they are wont to do. And then this dog's face.
No.
It's
No.
open.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
Gross.
the demagogue thing in Stranger Things. Just like
okay.
you can
That's- I
clearly
was like,
see.
what does that look like? I was like, I've seen that before.
Okay.
Yes, you can clearly see the influences on like fucking everything that has body horror has taken it from the thing, which is amazing.
Gross.
So this dog's face splits and peels open like in Stranger Things, and these things come whipping out of his face like possessed spaghetti.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like,
Okay.
It's horrifying. The other dogs are losing their goddamn minds, understandably, because they're like, the fuck is this? Get me the hell out of here. They're like trying to chew through the cage. It's all very upsetting.
So sad.
Yeah, because
they spray the filmmakers spray the dogs down with some sort of like probably just like goopy like mixture, but the thing is spraying these dogs is like trying to like almost like cocoon them almost. It's like it's like a sticky
it's
goo.
all very gruesome and very gory, and you feel very, very bad for all of the dogs involved.
Yeah.
Because they're like sitting there and they're like half gooped and they're like whining, and it's all very upsetting. So if you go to doesthedogdie.com, this movie would be like a fuck yes, don't watch it because there's a lot of dog issues in this one.
This movie is Do the Dogs
this
Die,
is a
and
movie.
yes, they do.
Is that like supposed to be a movie reference website for like if animals are in the movie and then they die in the movie? So that you know?
Yeah, there's a whole
I think
website you can check.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, you can check and like type in, be like, this is the movie, and be like, the dog dies, and be like, I don't want to watch that now. Or I will watch that and be very upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I will never watch that.
No, the dogs they're chewing through the cage. It's all very upsetting. And the dog guy, Clark, is like, oh, the fuck's happening? Because I hear a commotion in the other room, and I should investigate this commotion as a responsible dog caretaker
for these dogs. He's so much empathy. He's such a dog guy.
He's such a dog guy, you know? He probably like has a pocket full of treats and like just
Norwegian berries. Just hand them out to the dogs.
Just hand them out to the dogs all day, every day. So Clark is like, the fuck is going on? And he goes over and the barking is stopped and it's all very still and very quiet and very creepy. And then so he's like, and he opens the gate and all the dogs come running the fuck out of there because they're like, no. So they run the hell out of there, and he looks in, and there's this like weird things, possessed demon spaghetti, like whipping around, and these dogs are covered in goop, and like they're all having a really bad day. It's just trouble, a real bad day for these dogs. And so everyone else kind of comes rushing in, and they witness this, and they're like, what? And one of the things that I really appreciate about the thing is because you watch so many movies where like things happen and then one person witnesses it and they try and tell everyone else and they're like, were you sleeping? Are you dreaming? What's happening there? But this one, everyone witnesses it and they're like, oh,
something fucked up just happened.
Well, fuck. We gotta deal with this because I'm too impatient for the slow realization. I want like dramatic run. I want to go with it.
Oh yeah.
So they pop in there, just peeking their heads in. And there's this mangled dog creature thing that if you've seen Color Out of Space, it's like, it's
No.
obviously very related to like that mangled dog creature thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a lot where this film influenced other films.
That's cool. But
Yeah. So it's really upsetting. Like, basically, this whole creation of this is like John Carpenter is like, this guy fucks. Like, this guy's a great filmmaker. But with this movie, he made Halloween, just side note, he made Halloween on like a $350,000 budget and it grossed like $70 million.
Mm-hmm.
Comparatively speaking, he made The Thing on $15 million and it grossed $19 million. So this movie like ruined his career. They took away a 3-picture deal afterwards. They're like, you made a flop. We're not going to give you any more money. So this like almost ruined his career, which is crazy that it's had such a resurgence later on. And
because it's considered one of his like the best John Carpenter movie, basically.
Absolutely. It's like, it's a pinnacle, but like
needed
at the time, everyone
marinate.
was like, yes, needed time to marinate. Exactly. So basically, they realize that this dog is a fucking thing and they're like, well, that's not cool. Wilford Brimley is there.
Yes.
Who dat?
He is a man with a mustache that
And
recently
diabetes.
died August.
Yeah, he died Is it? No, it was like a couple years ago, wasn't it? Or was it this year?
I think it was this year.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Might have been. He died
Why'd
Why'd you say
recently.
that so casually, Will?
What? That he died?
He died of diabetes.
No, he had the diabetes.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And he's the reason why people say diabetes.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does he say it like that?
Well, he
He
used to
does.
do these.
He says,
like,
I have the
PSAs for
diabetes.
diabetes.
Oh, I know
Basically,
who we're
yeah.
talking about because I'm pretty sure Family Guy did a thing about it. It's fine.
Exactly. Yes. So he's in this movie. He doesn't have the mustache, which is like one of
Iconic.
those
Weird.
Yeah, one of those iconic things. It's kind of like a Mandela effect. Like, does he have a mustache in The Thing? No, he does not.
Honestly, yeah, because in my mind, I had this picture of him, but I think he's in Deliverance, right? Or no?
I don't know.
I have a picture of him with like a cap and the mustache and the glasses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's him in The Thing, right? In my mind. And then you watch this movie and I was
no.
like, wait, which one's Wilford Brimley? Because he doesn't have the mustache.
Where is the mustache? I cannot identify this man.
Ugh, what an
Yeah.
idiot. He should have kept it. He would have been
So-
cold in the Arctic without
Yeah,
it.
it could have kept him a little bit warmer, but
His
he
upper
didn't
lip
keep
for
it.
sure.
His upper
Now,
lip
I
for
will
sure.
say, so the dogs are being attacked and McCready hears this, immediately pulls the fire alarm and runs to the kennel. And he immediately is like, I forget who he tells. I think it's Childs. He's like, tell Childs to get the flamethrower. Like
Immediately.
he immediately knows to kill these things with fire.
Okay.
Yeah, because he looks at it and he's like, listen, I'm McCready. I understand the world and the way the world works. And I know this thing needs to be killed with fire.
Yeah.
That's
He's
pretty
definitely kind
sweet.
of, what they call a Mary Sue in this film. He like immediately knows to kill with fire. He is always, one step ahead. He knows.
Yeah. And he's got
Is he the guy
most
playing
magnificent
chess?
beard.
Yes.
He is the guy playing
That's
chess that
why.
like threw his drink into the chess
Mhm.
machine because he's like, I'm too smart for you machines.
Yeah.
So Wilford Brimley, sans mustache,
Ugh.
is like, so that dog was just kind of walking around all day, right? And they go, yes, he was. That's a very valid point that we had not considered. So they start
Yikes.
looking through these Norwegian tapes, the tapes that they got from the Norwegian campsite. That's like all these really amazing, probably VHS tapes. And they're looking through and they're going, all right,
No.
Laserdisc.
Yeah.
It's like, it's beta tapes. It's so they're looking through the tapes and they're like, oh, they blew something out of the ice. The fuck was that? What we should go check this out because like what the fuck else are we gonna do? We're stuck on this space in Antarctica and it's cold and we're tired and bored and like shit's happening.
This is also the time basically Blair figures out that because he studies the dog thing that they killed and he figures out that this thing replicated the dog's DNA almost perfectly. So this is the time they figure out that it can replicate things, anything, any organism almost identically.
Yes. Yeah. They do an autopsy and they're like, oh, there's basically a dog inside of here. It absorbed this dog thing and tried to recreate its own version of this
That
dog.
is sickening.
And it was halfway done before they killed it.
Ew.
with fire.
With fire. So they go to check out this super old ship. They look at it, and by eyeballing it, they're able to determine that it's like 100,000 years old.
Just by
Good.
eyeballing.
Just
yeah,
by eyeballing it and be like, yeah, that looks like.
It is. It
Give or
really is
take
like Kurt Russell's like, how long
100,000.
do you think this has been in here? And the guy is like, well, and there's like a slight pause, and he's looking around, and he's like, this ice has been here about 100,000 years. And it's like, yeah, sure, you know that just by looking at
He's
it.
an expert.
Science, yeah.
He's an expert.
Science. So they get back and they're like, oh, we're pretty sure some shit's going down. And Childs, who's played by Keith David of They Live fame, who's also in The Thing, obviously, because that's the movie we're discussing. But he's in They Live. And he's like, this is some voodoo bullshit. This is some nonsense. I do not believe this.
Even
I
after
call
seeing
Phooey.
the giant freaking crab,
Yeah.
I hate
like
that shit.
malformed dog.
Yes.
Thing
He's just
they
like,
killed.
no.
That was
This
fake.
is some
Oh.
nonsense.
What an
That's
idiot.
just the flu. I don't know.
What an idiot.
So Wilford Brimley is sitting at his very advanced computer that is basically just a black screen with green text scrolling on top of it.
Matrix.
And it's very sophisticated technology, just basically says like probability that one or more team members may be infected by intruder organism 75%. Because it just knows, it does math.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And then it also goes like, if organism were to
Reach civilization.
Planet Earth would be all of planet Earth would be infected in, I think it was like
27,000 hours.
Yeah, 27,000
basically the
hours.
world is fucked in 27,000 hours if this gets out there.
Yeah.
So Wilford Brimley is like, well, fuck, like we can't do this. So the two guys that had this titular thing, they sort of carry it into a room and they lock it up because they're like, this is probably not cool for us to have around just willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking and it starts to move a little
No.
bit. You see it just like do a little twitch.
Oh, no.
And then it starts to like fucking ooze a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And so we cut
Ew.
to
Don't.
just
Is it blood?
bloody ooze. It's bloody ooze.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
Ivan Ooze. I don't know. That's all I think about when I think about
You
ooze.
ooze?
Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie.
Don't talk to me
The
like I
ooze.
know things.
So McCready's out in the helicopter talking to a gentleman whose name I do not know because he's not on screen long enough. And he's reading through the Norwegian's
Fuchs.
notes.
It's Fuchs.
Fuchs, thank you very
Yeah.
much. So he's reading through he's talking to Fuchs and Fuchs is reading through the notes and he's just basically
Thank you
determining
very
that like
much.
the cellular activity is still active in the burned remains. So like we kill it with fire, but it not really did.
So you
It's
didn't
still
kill
like low level active. It's still like buzzing under the surface, being
Yeah.
like, I would just like a person to move into, please.
Ew.
Mm.
So they also determined from the notes that this thing needs to be alone with a person in order to absorb it because it does not like people who watch.
No.
It's not into that.
That is the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it doesn't like any fucking cucks in the room. Yeah.
No.
How does it plan on taking over the world?
Very quietly,
Slowly,
one
yeah.
person at a time. Yeah. It's
Hey,
just like,
Come follow me into the back where no one else can see us. Stupid.
Yeah, it is a bad strategy for these aliens, I think.
yeah.
Why are you so shy?
Although if this is 1982, way less surveillance cameras, cell phones, all
That's
that
true.
stuff. If this were now, there'd be an eye on it every time.
All the time.
Constantly.
Google Home would be like, "Hello, thing, what are you doing right now?"
Thing.
Would you like me to contact the authorities?
Aw, almost feel bad for the thing. It's just shy. It's just a shy
It's-
guy.
It's just a little shy guy. But you know what? It found its way in 1982. Were it to like come later, that would have been a bad scene. But at that time, it's really thriving in
Mhm.
Antarctica
Yeah.
in the winter.
That's good.
So they walk back in, these two of the guys, Windows and someone else, basically just two of the people that are in this area, walk back in. They see this thing wrapped around this bald ginger guy. What's his name?
Aw.
Oh, it's Bennings.
Bennings, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's wrapped around Bennings, and Bennings is like,
Yeah. Well, no, Windows. That's another guy's name.
Yes.
They all have, like, these.
They'll have
this
like very
guy's a nickname
cutesy,
for sure.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
Windows is like he's like the radio engineer who's like trying to get like the communication, and they're all
But hasn't been able to for 2 weeks.
And he's kind
that
of
guy.
like, he looks like what did he look like? Oh, damn it! You know what? Never mind. But he's got like a beard and glasses, and
like a big like poofy hair.
Yeah.
He's doing
Albert
a whole
Einstein.
thing.
yeah, like if he would have created like Apple computers or something back, he's like Steve Wozniak looking or something. But basically, he like goes into the room and sees Bennings like dead and wrapped up, and then he runs out to the two guys and is like, "It's Bennings," and they all run, and then he's not there anymore. That's really the only time where they do the like, "I swear it was right here," but then they're like, "We believe you," because we know what it says. It's not like sure, Windows, you
whatever you
idiot.
say.
Sure,
You've been
Windows.
smoking a little too much. Like, no, they're just on board from the get-go. They're like, we know shit's fucked. Let's play along with this.
Yeah.
So they see Bennings like running away outside, and they come up to him, and they like camera circles around, and he's got fucking crab hands,
big like fucking claw thing.
Yeah,
and he goes like, ah! He like screeches at them, which is amazing.
So scary.
He's just like sitting there with his big claw going, ah! And then so McCready knocks over this gas barrel, and he's like, we gotta fucking kill this motherfucker.
Light it on fire.
Throws a flare on the flame, and it goes whoosh, and Bennings goes all up in fire. And they're like, all right, that was a good job,
They take care of
guys.
that pretty quick. Yeah, they're pretty quick.
They were on the ball.
Yeah, they're pretty like... They're pretty heartless when it comes to just killing each other.
They have no.
I gotta do it. It's literally just like, let's do it. Let's kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, there's no like, I'm sorry, Bennings. We had that great time in Tacoma. They just like kill him. Like, fuck it. Let's go for it.
Good.
So then they're looking around. They're like, good job, guys. We did a thing. And then they notice that Wilford Brimley is missing.
Oh, no.
And then they look over and they see him. Sans mustache.
No
they
mustache.
See him like,
no Brimley.
No Brimley, no mustache, no nothing. He disappeared. So they look over and they see him like scurrying away from the chopper. And they're like, oh, no.
Not like Alien, like he's running. He's
running. He's not like, ooh. He's like scurrying like a gentleman on a mission.
Okay.
So they go
So
over
do they
and
think
like,
he's got the thing or no?
They are suspicious.
Okay.
Writings on the wall.
Yeah.
As the song goes. So
they should have played that. There's actually, I realized
they do.
Do they? Oh shit!
They play Superstition like early on in the film, and it's very on the nose.
Oh yeah.
It's I forget his name, but he's listening to it and like rolling around in his roller skates, being all chill and shit. And they're like, McCready's not the only guy that's cool. Check out this one.
Yeah, Knowles. That Knowles is the one that's,
yeah. So they see Blair running away or Wilford Brimley running away from the chopper, and they're like, fuck, let's go check it out. And they go over, and like all the everything is fucked. You can't do shit with this chopper now. It's they hear a gunshot, and they're like, oh shit, we better run inside. And then Wilford Brimley's in there with like an axe.
Oh.
And he's chopping up everything. And he's like, fuck all of y'all. We're not going anywhere. This is a problem. We got to deal with this.
Yeah. He's basically like just marooning them there so that none of them get to civilization to kill everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
he's
they
like,
get infected.
We got to stop this stat.
Yeah.
Because he knows what's going on. He's a smart cookie. Even without a mustache.
The mustache adds like a few IQ points for sure.
Yeah,
though.
Absolutely.
He's pretty
it definitely helps. It gets him up there in IQ points, and also in fashion.
In fashion, yeah, it gives him the immediate trust of his peers. Now he has to work a little harder for it.
Yeah, he simultaneously, not to say that's going to sound ageist, but he simultaneously looks older with the mustache, but way better with the mustache.
Yeah, it works for him. He's got it.
Yeah.
So they hear a gunshot and they run inside and they see fucking Wilford Brimley all like hacking shit up with the axe. He's like, I'll kill you, in the most fantastic delivery of lines possible. And so Childs gets in there, is Keith David, and he knocks Wilford Brimley out. He like sneaks up behind and knocks him out because he's like, this guy is going on a rampage. We got to stop this rampage. So they knock him out and they're like, he could be infected. We should isolate him accordingly because quarantine procedures.
Exactly.
Because
they don't change. As we've
They don't
discovered.
They get masks. They self-isolate for 14 days. And they have their bubble of 10 close friends. And that's it.
And one thing.
That's it.
And one
thing. Those are all the things you're allowed in your social bubble.
So, so they isolate Blair in the process of them like fighting Wilford Brimley and getting him knocked the fuck out. Some other guy gets knocked out cold because he's like not paying attention to the world around him and just gets bonked in the head.
Idiot.
And he's apparently very susceptible to being bonked in the head. So he just like conks out for the day.
Bye.
So they isolate Wilford Brimley. They take him out to a shed and they're like, stay there for a while. While they're out there, while McCready, because he's always in the important scenes because he's the fucking guy.
Yep.
While McCready's out there isolating Wilford Brimley's like, yo, you gotta watch out for Clark, aka the dog guy, because he's been around them dogs and shit could be fucked.
Them dogs.
He loved them dogs.
So much.
Yeah.
And who can blame him? They are gorgeous canines.
Exactly.
Yes.
I just realized, honestly, it's just kind of peeking on me. So in the opening scene, when the dog runs up to them, the dog like leaps up on, is it Clark? Does he leap up on Clark? No, who does he leap
He lifts up on a guy that gets shot in the leg.
Oh, yeah. So who's that?
Which is why he gets shot in the leg because the Norwegian is shooting at the dog and he misses and shoots the leg because he's a bad shot.
But he licks his face.
Yes.
Oh, he licks Benning's face. The dog is like licking Benning's face. Benning's is the one who gets shot in the leg, and he's the first guy to be the thing.
Okay.
So there's your little indication.
Fun fact, there's a scene early on when the dog's wandering through the base and you see just like the shadow of a person in a room and the dog like pauses before it goes in the door and then it walks in the room to like be isolated with this person. But because John Carpenter is a fucking genius, he was like, you know what? I don't want to use one of the actors because it'll be too obvious who this person is. So he just used some random crew guy to sit in. So it's really ambiguous who this person is that the dog wanders in and isolates himself with.
Because it's literally none of them.
Because
it's not actually any of them.
It's none of them. So that's a clever thing that John Carpenter did because he is
a smart boy.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's
smart
the goat.
boyo. He is the goat and will forever be the goat.
Goat.
No goats in this film, though. Only dogs that die.
Only dead dogs. Horribly mutilated dead dogs. We're so sorry,
more
dogs.
of this.
Pour one out for the dogs. So they get back and they're like, okay, so clearly we have an issue at hand. How could we tell who is not a real person infected and is one of these things, one of these infected things?
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to tell this?
Oh, so they think that like many of them have already been infected.
Yeah.
They don't know for certain, but they are suspicious. They're, yes. So,
yikes,
naturally, the tension is never been higher. So they determined that the best way to decide if someone is a thing or not would be to mix the blood with uncontaminated blood, just to kind of like have a reaction and whatever. So they go to check out their blood supply because apparently they have a blood supply for reasons unknown. I guess when you're isolated like that,
they
it's
get
good to have
injured.
blood on hand
Because
just in case.
There's a couple doctors, so I
First
guess they
aid.
gotta have some blood transfusions in case they
it makes
get
sense
shot
in case
the
of
leg by
emergency.
Norwegians. Yeah,
absolutely. So they get there and all the blood is dripped out on the floor. It's all leaked. The fridge has been compromised. And they go, somebody got to the blood, which is like a great sentence that I just really want to hear more often. And they decide that, you know, they've got to figure this out because otherwise they're all going to die. So they got to figure out a way to determine who is a thing, a titular thing. The storm. It's been hitting them for 2 days. They're fucked. They're on their own. They got no help coming. McCready's off in his own little corner being really awesome and badass. And the sentence of the fucking year that we've all continually turned back to because it's become a meme and it's still very accurate is nobody trusts anybody now and we're all very tired.
Nice.
I'm not familiar with the meme.
it's a thing, and it's the thing. It is a thing and the thing, and no one trusts anyone because they don't know what's going on. They're all super tired. They're exhausted. Fuchs is missing. They find Fuchs all burnt up. They don't know why.
What?
They think he might have killed himself.
Yes, because they're like, he could not have taken it and just burned himself alive to not deal with this titular thing. So
maybe he was possessed, right? Or whatever.
Taken over by the thing, yes.
Yeah.
Contaminated. Okay. Contaminated is a good word. I like that. Let's use that. So they're sort of hanging out and they're like, okay, well, what if this person's infected? And they're like, well, what if we're wrong? And they're like, well, then we're wrong. And like, big deal. Like, if we isolate someone and we make it a horrible thing and they're not sick, then like, whatever. But if we do, then good for us. We did a thing. So they take the guy that went down earlier in the fight with Wilford Brimley, and he's still passed out. He's still out cold. He's a weak link, obviously. But, also, fun fact, the score by Ennio Morricone, I can never remember if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but at the time it was like nominated for a Razzie for worst score, and has since become like a cultural phenomenon. Like, people own the record of this score and like collect it, and it's so widely appreciated. But at the time they like nominated it for a Razzie because no one liked this movie.
Yeah.
Which is frankly unfair. Yeah. It's unfair because he did some work on it. And it's one of the few John Carpenter films that he didn't score himself. Okay. So basically they found someone's torn up shirt earlier and they're like, oh, clearly, if someone's shirt is all torn up, then the thing's coming at them. And this is how we can tell that this person is a thing. And so they find McCready's shirt all torn up and they're like,
yeah. Well, I think we missed a part here where like they find the burned up body of Fuchs, the one guy who set himself on fire. And McCready is like, I think, he's talking to Knowles, and he's like, windows go back. Knowles, you're coming with me. He's like, why? And he's like, because so we see McCready up in this like tower in the beginning of the movie. He has his own little like cabin tower
because he's super cool.
Yeah, that's where he's playing his chess. And he's like, we're going up to my cabin. And Knowles is like, why? And he's like, because when I left 2 days ago, I turned the lights off and the lights are now on in the cabin. So like they go towards that. It's like a whiteout storm. So then, Knowles suddenly like comes back to the main area where everyone else is without McCready. And they're like, where's McCready? And he's like, I found this. And it's like a torn up piece of McCready's
clothes.
Yeah.
So he immediately thought that McCready's actually a thing. So that he like cut the line because like it's a whiteout storm. Like they need to be like tied together. So in order to get back to the main area. So he cut the line and came back to the main area.
Oh. He basically said like, fuck you, McCready. You suspicious as hell. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, no.
Cut him loose. And then he ran off into the night. So he runs off into the night and he comes into the little area where everyone is in their little home base. And they're like, oh, McCready's shirt is all torn up. That's some bullshit. This is not cool. McCready, he's awesome. So we're going to have to suspect him of being a thing. And so then that's when they do so what if we're wrong, then we're wrong thing. So the guy that got knocked out earlier by Wilford Brimley when he was like all in his rage and was like, I'll kill you, and knocked this guy out. They have this guy and they're like, oh no, his heart stopped beating. We should probably help him because we're human beings and that's what we do. So they pull out this defibrillator and they're like, all right, the audience can't see what I'm doing, but we're defibrillating here. So he like smushes his hands together, all together. And he like goes to push down to defibrillate. And when he does, the guy's chest opens up and then chomps down on his hand because clearly he was a thing. So a big old mouth goes like fucking chomp and everything erupts into gross chaos and it looks incredible.
Oh, and I like, what does that mouth rip off?
I don't know.
His fucking arms. You guessed it.
Oh, his arms. His arms. I forgot I mentioned that earlier. That was like forever ago.
Yeah, they ripped off his arms and everything erupts into gross chaos. And Rob Bottin, the effects guy, is like, cracks his knuckles and goes like, all right, guys, let's do some shit. And so he goes all in there and he makes some crazy effects happening. And McCready's flame throwing at it while this head that erupts off of this guy like grows these fucking spider legs out of itself and like pulls itself along the ground by its tongue, which is like whipped out like this big tail thing. So this head, this disembodied head, is like whipping around and like crawling around on the floor, and it's all kinds of terrifying.
Yeah. And he like trying to sneak away, and the one guy sees it and he goes like, "You gotta be kidding me!"
Yeah. And then they like flamethrow it. They're like, "Boom, motherfuckers!"
Yeah,
because it grows like these legs and little eye stalks, like a little alien that it is. And then so in the process of all this, after they flamethrow this fucking head that's crawling across the floor, Clark tries to rush at Mac because he's like, "Oh, I'm pretty confident that you're a thing because we found your torn up shirt." And Mac shoots him in the head because he's a badass. And so now he's killed a man.
Oh, yeah.
He has killed a man.
What?
So they determine when a man bleeds, it's just tissue, but the blood from the thing won't obey when it's attacked, so it'll try to survive. So they're like, all right, if we have blood and it's from a normal human person being thing, normal that's not a thing, it'll just be blood and it'll just like fizzle out if we like try and burn it.
So keep in mind, McCready, they all think McCready's a thing, but McCready is basically kind of taking them hostage. He has a flamethrower and has told them all to drop their guns.
He's a badass.
The flamethrower, so he gets them. He gets basically the one guy to tie up everyone else, and they're all tied up while he draws blood from everyone else.
Yes. So everyone's tied up on the couch. Everyone's there. Everyone's all tied up. There's like a couple of people tied up on the couch, and McCready's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take my boss ass bitch of a flamethrower. We're going to take this wire. We're going to heat up this wire. We're going to stick it in a petri dish of blood. And if the blood just goes, psst, it's fine because you're a human. But if the blood goes, bah, then clearly you're a thing. And we know that that's going to be a problem.
Basically, yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah. So that's how they know that there's a problem and they're going to have to kill a motherfucker. So they take everyone's blood. They put in a little petri dish, which is very clearly labeled because they're scientists.
Yeah.
So they look at it, Window's blood, who's like the hippie guy with the awesome hair. And they're like, all right, you're okay. McCready's blood. And he's like, I know I'm not a thing, but you bitches want me to prove it. So here you go. I'm not a thing. He tests his blood. It's fine. He goes, psst. And then Clark, they test Clark's blood, and Clark's is like, psst, and like, he's clearly okay. And it's like, all right, fine. So they go on to the next one, is Palmer. Good. And they go to Palmer's. It's fucking great. So they go to Palmer's blood and they put the thing in, and his blood goes, blah! And it jumps out. And Palmer, who's sitting on the edge of this couch, tied next to 3 other individuals, starts turning into this crazy-ass monster thing.
Yeah, he's just like shaking in his chair.
He's like shaking and transforming.
I will say there's some like odd cuts in this movie. Like,
yes,
it's kind of like it cuts to him shaking, and then it cuts to the other 2 tied up being like, get me the fuck out of here, and then cuts right back to him, and he is not even the first stage of changing. He's almost like at the end stage of changing.
Yeah, he's like already fucking there. He's full blown thing at this point. The other guys tied up on the couch directly next to him are like
peeing and pooing everywhere.
This noise, get us the hell out of here. We do not want to be here right now. This is a terrible idea. Why did we do this? I disagree with this whole process. So Windows, who we've already established is not a thing, goes to attack it with a flamethrower, but the flamethrower sputters and it doesn't work. And the thing goes, ah, and it bites his head off.
Yeah, like his head opens up, the thing head opens up, the human head, and then like picks him up by his head.
Yes,
and it's like
a head grabs a head and then stacks the body on top of its own body and just noms away at it.
And he's all flailing around with his legs and shit.
He's all like, why have we done this to me? This is a terrible idea. I'm very dead at this point.
I'm very dead.
He's having a terrible day. Meanwhile, McCready's flamethrower, just like the dogs. McCready's flamethrower, normally so reliable, in this instance, sputtering, not doing what it's supposed to. Everything's gone to shit. People are getting their heads bit off by other heads. People are tied to couches where they don't want to be tied to couches. It's a whole awful thing. Eventually, his flamethrower works and he does a full body burn and he burns this motherfucker up and it's really amazing. And fun fact, so in the original Thing from Another World from 1950 something, I don't remember the year, there's this incredible scene that's very similar where they do like a full body burn where they're literally throwing jars of kerosene at this guy as he's running through this enclosed space. And it's the most insane single take like action stunt I've ever seen in my entire life of the stuntman just flailing around covered in fire as they're throwing kerosene at him in an enclosed area. It's fucking bonkers. And this is like in the 50s they did this. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
So they probably actually killed that guy.
Yeah,
they did. They found out he was an alien and they went, we can't abide by this. Not in our movie. No thank you, friends.
But film it because we'll use it.
Alien snuff film. Yeah.
It'll look great on film. So they do a full body burn, which like, cool. Then they like Knowles is okay because he was tied to the chair. Childs is okay. He was tied to the chair. They're both okay, but they're very upset. Gary, who is the old man who shot the Norwegian in the beginning of the movie, he's
their
also
leader,
okay.
Sort of. I mean, like Kurt Russell is their leader, but Gary is like the captain of the Antarctica.
He wears the big pants.
Antarctica.
Yes. He wears the big pants in Antarctica. Antarctica. I can't speak right now. Antarctica. So Gary's wearing the big pants. He's not infected, but he's like super pissed off about the fact that he's been tied to a chair next to this thing for the last brief period of time. It's like, I get it. And then they go to check on Wilfred Brimley in the shed, and they're like, "Ooh, we
forgot about him.
We forgot about him. We should find out where
he suddenly grew a mustache."
That'd be hilarious.
The entire time he was very focused, and he established that mustache. So they go out to the shed where Wilfred Brimley's hiding out, and he's not there.
Oh yeah,
he's gone. He has disappeared. But they find this surprisingly well-developed tunnel underneath the shed.
Yeah. He's been working.
He's been busy.
He seems like the busy kind. Like it seems. Listen, he knew immediately what they had to do, though. He knew right away.
Yes.
He was like, listen, we got to build a fucking tunnel for this nonsense. So he did, because he's Wilfred Brimley and his mustache is not established, but his intelligence is.
Yeah.
So he has built a surprisingly comprehensive ship inside of this tunnel underneath the ground.
Like a spaceship.
Like a spaceship for space.
My God.
A ship.
This is ridiculous. Now I can't vouch for this.
So suddenly Childs is missing, but Blair has knocked the power out. So they're plummeted into darkness. No. They've got this ship under the ground. They don't know where Childs is. They don't know where Blair is. Everything's gone to shit. They know if everything stays cold, the thing will still stay alive until the rescue team can come and find it because it's lived in the ice for all this time. So naturally, the only solution is to run around and blow shit up.
Oh, yeah. Just TNT, the whole place.
The whole hullabaloo. They we got to blow this shit up. It's going to be nonsense. So they're running around in this tunnel underground. People can't see it, but I'm doing hand gestures of them running underground. And they're planting all these explosives because they're like, you know what? We got to blow this shit to smithereens. And this is going to be some fucking nonsense. Suddenly, Blair shows up. He finds Gary. He melds his fingers into Gary's face because he is a thing all of a sudden.
It's like through his cheeks and it's like his face. And
it's so gross and perfect and just encapsulates his entire face.
Ew.
It's
pretty gross. What's with this melty fusion thing they do?
They do it a lot. Yeah. They're really all about the fusion. I feel like if they were to open a jazz bar, they would be successful with their fusion environment that they would have.
Oh my goodness.
Not a restaurant, though.
Not a restaurant,
Don't
just a
think I
jazz
wanna
bar.
eat any of that.
No, you don't want to consume any of that at all. So Gary's face has been melded with fingers. He's not in a good way.
No.
He's not having a good day.
He's having a terrible day. Something is burrowing from underground and it comes rushing towards McCready? Question mark?
Yeah, McCready.
McCready! Exclamation point. It comes rushing towards McCready, and this ultimate mega thing comes out with like a dog thing bursting from its stomach. It's very, very dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
And very great with the practical effects by Rob Bottin.
It's like everyone combined. It's like the dogs and all the people who died, like all in this big amorphous blob.
It's everything blended and put into this one being that just bursts forth and is ready to conquer.
Yeah. Also, we don't know how Knowles dies. He just goes away.
That's true. He just kind of disappears into the thing, perhaps.
Maybe he was a thing and he disappeared to the rest of civilization.
Maybe he was the ship the whole time.
Yeah.
Ew.
He was underground as the ship.
Yeah.
So this dog is bursting from this thing's stomach, and McCready goes, "Fuck you too," and he throws dynamite at it and blows it the fuck up.
No, like I want to be
He's
very
so
clear.
quick.
Yeah, I want to be very clear. Kelly didn't just like improv. That's what he says.
That is the line. Is fuck you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was the line.
There's not a lot of yada 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 with this film. Like they get to the fucking point, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So he says, "Fuck you too." He throws the dynamite. He blows the thing up. All of a sudden, Childs is there. Hey, Childs, what's up?
He disappeared into the storm earlier on, but they didn't where's he going?
We don't know where he went, but now he's back and better than ever. So now it's just McCready and Childs, and they're just sitting there in the snow, being cold and cranky. And they're like, you know what? How will we make it? And they go, maybe we shouldn't, because they're wise and they understand that this thing is devastating and will destroy the entire planet if it gets to it. And so they go, well, what are we going to do? And they go, well, let's just wait here for a little while and see what happens. And that's just how the movie ends. It's just with Childs and McCready just sitting in the cold, not knowing if the other one is a thing, hanging out, being bros.
Waiting
in the
for their
cold
inevitable
demise
by frozen tundra.
Yes, waiting for the frozen tundra.
Because they have no shelter now, right?
None whatsoever. They blew it all up. And also, fun fact, they did actually blow up the set. That is not like faked. They like on the last day of shooting were like, let's blow this motherfucker up.
That would have been so fun.
Let's fucking kill it with fire.
Kill it with fire. And so they blew up the fucking set, which is incredible. And here's the thing is there's been a lot of speculation about at the end of the movie if Childs or McCready is a thing. And there's a couple of theories about this. I don't know if you've heard these theories.
I've heard a bit of them, but you should go on with them.
I will go on with them. So there's one theory that when they're talking, you can see McCready's breath, but you cannot see Childs' breath, indicating that perhaps Childs is a thing because he is breathing or not breathing, and he probably should be. However, in the 2011 prequel, I should say, the 2011 prequel to the thing, it establishes that the thing cannot replicate inorganic material. So it can only replicate organic material. And Childs has an earring at the end of the thing in 1982. So in theory, it couldn't replicate Childs because he has that earring.
Ooh.
So it's, it's up to interpretation on if he's a thing or not.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. How does it replicate their clothes then if that's not an organic thing? And then could you argue that an earring is made of organic material?
You could. And I like to think that there is a tailor that is associated with the thing that likes to run around when it transforms and it goes, what are the measurements? Let me make you this costume. So the thing has a very productive and very well-established tailor. Very elaborate process this thing has. But that's the question,
That's why
right?
I can't do it in front of anybody. That makes sense because you'll be naked.
Exactly. They'd be running around naked and no one would like that.
That's why
that would make the movie a lot funnier where they're all standing around like, who's the thing? And then one dude's just like, I don't know, but he's full ass naked. And you're just
like some guy just standing there like dick hanging out. And they're like, well, maybe him.
Maybe.
Like,
just because his pants have disappeared.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Why do you ask?
So that's the thing. So it ends on a very bleak note of just two men not knowing if the other is an alien being left to die in Antarctica in 1982.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a real feel-good film. Fun for the family.
Yeah.
It feels good to watch those. God, I was going to say watch those dogs die.
Don't say that. I want to Google the dog because I want to see its majesty. And
its name is Jed.
Oh,
you're probably going to simultaneously get pictures of the dog and then pictures of the thing dog, which will be fun.
Yeah,
which I also want to see too. I want to see the thing in all its variants. So.
For those that have seen The Thing and really enjoy it and want to do things that are similar but not The Thing, may I recommend there is a movie called The Void that is a Canadian film and it's fucking great. It's like a combination of Lovecraft and John Carpenter's The Thing. It's like a wonderful, delightful, horribly gross combination of those two things. And then Color Out of Space obviously takes a lot of cues from The Thing in terms of like its production of its creature design and things like that. So that's my recommendations for folks that are like curious about and would like to continue The Thing. There's future viewings for them.
Yeah.
That's nice. We don't get that ever. This is the first time, I think.
That's like my favorite thing to do is just to like recommend movies to people. It's like, what do you like? Let me list 5 movies that will help you with that.
That's cool.
Oh man.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I say thank you on behalf of the guests because I ain't fucking watching them.
Well, I mean, Alenka.
What?
I think you know what's coming. I think you know what's coming.
I know, but I don't want you to say it.
Okay, well, how many
dead dogs I knew it.
do you give this film?
0, bitch. I give it no dead dogs. Because in my version of this film, the dogs banded together and beat the thing on their own. And then the humans were like, oh, good. We worship the dogs now. Have whatever you want. Live in this frozen tundra with us and be our best friends. So,
That would have made Balto a very different movie.
Oh my God. I loved that movie. I will do Balto. That is my absolute favorite.
We'll get a special guest who hasn't seen that movie yet.
Favorite movie probably ever, actually.
Oh my God.
So
I forgot it existed though.
I would 100% watch your version of The Thing though, where it's just like the dogs being like, you know what? Fuck you. And then just like kicking ass for the remainder of the 1 hour, 20 minutes.
Yeah. There's like a big Kurt Russell dog. And at the end he says, you know what? Fuck you too. And he kills the guy. So.
Yeah. That does seem like a movie that could be made. Dogs fighting aliens.
I would watch the shit out of that. Yeah. I would love that movie. That would be my favorite movie of all time.
I know.
It's just The Thing, but with more dogs.
Yeah. Live dogs too.
Yeah. Not dead dogs.
Yeah. Not a single one. So take that, Will, in your stupid offensive ratings.
How many Norwegian berries do you give this film?
Oh, yucky. I also think of that as like a ball sack.
Oh, you got me right in the Norwegian berries.
Okay, how about this? I give this 1 flamethrower to the Norwegian berries.
Ooh,
Nice.
One
That's a good.
steamy, crispy Norwegian berry a la flamethrower.
Great.
One steamy, crusty berry.
Yucky. Yeah. A juicy one, a gooey one. A gooey, crusty, yuck. So gross. I'm glad I didn't see any of it, but I am going to Google those images afterwards because I do want to see it, but
on your terms.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. Because like Rob Bottin, let's be honest, it's like him and Tom Savini are the two names when it comes to practical effects in horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob Bottin, again, like he did this movie when he was 22, which is like fucking insane.
Crazy.
I think the first thing he did before this was The Howling, I think. And then he went on to do like Seven. He did
Seven's also weird.
which is like Seven is insane, and like a couple of things I cannot think of right now. But Rob Bottin alone, his work is definitely worth it in my opinion. But I'm also very biased because I really like horror movies, so I will watch literally anything you put in front of me,
as long as it's horror.
Yeah, there's probably not a lot of romantic comedies I would watch. I'll be honest about that. I would not have the patience for that.
Yeah. Those
I'd
are
be like, no, I would just be like, you know what? When is this love interest going to kill the other one and make this a more interesting movie?
And play with their blood and
that's the sequel.
Turn them into a gooey centerpiece.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's disgusting.
It would be perfect for Halloween is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is for Halloween, so we're fine. Everything's
we're
fine.
all good. Everything's fine. We're fine here.
I'm gonna hug my dog so tightly tonight. Can't wait.
Oh. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Kelly.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was fucking delightful.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties aside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. I'm glad we powered through that. It was fantastic.
Yes. Wonderful.
And well, speaking of gooey horror, where can our listeners find more of you if they want to follow you, if they want to read some of the great stuff you've written?
Yeah. So they can find me on the social medias, Twitter and Instagram, etc. at Kells McNells.
Nice.
Which is basically where I am on everything. I'm also on Facebook under the Creepy Crafter, where I get publicly drunk on camera for a couple of hours and make creative drinks by myself in my apartment. And I also do like some actual creative crafty shit, like making homewares and etc. But it's mostly just me getting drunk on camera. And then I write primarily for iHorror.com, but I have been writing for a couple of their sites as well. But social media is probably the easiest way to find me.
Great. Awesome.
Or your address, which
is my full mailing address.
Hold up the Google Maps on the screen and I'll take a screenshot.
I'll show you the outside of my house. Please send all packages full of
gooey things. I only accept gooey packages.
Yes. I only accept packages full of candy and occasionally puppies. I will accept those as well.
Not
New
dead
Christmas
puppies, though.
Not dead puppies.
We've established.
No, we don't need those.
Dogs.
No more of those. We've had enough in the thing.
Yes.
Will, you sick fuck.
I am a sick fuck. And you can find more of this sick fuckery on our social medias. That's at Haven't Seen a Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, as well as Twitter at haven't_seen_it. You can also go to our website, www.haven'tseenapodcast.com. There you can see the entire list of movies Alenka hasn't seen. Super long, constantly updating it.
Yep.
And also review us. Give us a little review on iTunes or wherever else you can review. On Facebook, send me a message and say, hey, it's great. And then I'll know.
Just like send a message like with like 4 thumbs up emojis and like that's it, nothing else. Yeah.
And then I'll quote you
no name,
like,
no nothing.
It's like the New York Times or something. But we're doing Halloween month. This is our first episode, so it's really great. And we have so many other great guests coming on, and we're super excited about that. And I just want to give a little shout out to our man, Zach Parsons, who created the wonderful spooky rendition of our theme song. He also created our original theme song.
Hey,
It does.
Parsons.
Yeah, have we ever credited Zach before for
No,
this?
this is the first time we're crediting him.
Which is weird because
No,
we usually
we've
like to
credited
shit
him
on
before.
him. Oh, well, I like to shit.
We're
Zach,
allowed
if you're
to.
listening, I love you. You're delightful, and I miss your face.
Yeah. And if you want to hear more of his music, please go to @ZachParsonsMusic on Instagram.
Mhm.
He's got different. He's a good soundtrack maker. He's got a lot
He's
of
a
different soundtracks on
good
there.
musician.
Oh yeah,
He is a multi-talented music maker.
this is the most
And
we've praised
persons.
Zach ever. Like even in person
I
with him.
know, I know.
He's going to get a
You
really big
can't
ego
be-
from this.
Exactly. You see, you can't be too nice to Zach because then he gets way too excited about it.
He's going to
And
go
then
to
it's
his
all
head.
he's going to talk about.
Oh, well, all apologies to Zach.
No apologies to Zach.
Yeah, on this, honestly, if you want to leave us a review about shitting on Zach, I think that would be my most favorite. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really wanted to get that in there. But guys, thank you so much for watching the show. We'll see you next week as always. Until then, keep it freaking spooky and gooey, baby.